Good afternoon. I'm Arlie Powell with Petals from the Past Nursery in Jemison, Alabama. Today we wanted to show you some of our different types of citrus that we have available. I'm standing beside a tree of Okitsu Satsuma mandarin, which is one of the oriental type Satsumas that have come into the United States over the past years, and there continues to be additional varieties that we evaluate here. We're growing these in a greenhouse which we refer to as our orangery. In the 1500s, 1600s, there were lots of orangeries in Europe as the Europeans brought over limes and lemons and different types of citrus, and they built huge glass houses to house them in and to protect them against the winter with wood fires and coal and other things. Today, our modern orangery, if we grow citrus out of an area where you have to protect it from the outside temperatures, we refer to basically as plastic greenhouses. And they work quite well. These trees, as you look at the ones I'm standing beside, these are planted in the ground. They have a weed cover on the ground also. They're enclosed. This particular orangery is designed with a backup heater in case we need it. We get a lot of protection in here from just the structure itself during the winter nights. But if we need it, I have a heater set at 32 degrees. It doesn't come on until the temperature would get that cold. But we're in, as I was trying to indicate earlier, in October, and this is harvest time for Satsumas, and I wanted to show you basically the Satsuma mandarin is a group of citrus to itself. They're referred to as the loose skin fruits. Some people call them tangerines, some people call them clementines. There's all sorts. And within the mandarin group of citrus, there's several different types of fruit. What we're showing you here today are what's referred to as the Satsuma mandarin. And this is a wonderful fruit. When we harvest these, unlike an orange or a grapefruit, we use something as a clipper, as you see here, to just snip off the fruit, because you cannot, if you pull the fruit loose like you would an orange or a grapefruit, it tears part of the skin away, and then the fruit would begin to rot in a day or two. So when we use these fruit, we always simply cut them off. But if you notice the color on this fruit, by this date now, we have essentially got a fully colored Satsuma ready to harvest. And when we harvest the fruit, we simply would reach out and simply clip it, as you see me doing right here. I simply bring this fruit back, just like you see, and very easily, I simply take my finger on this and ease into the skin, and it comes just like that. I can take this flesh, I can break it in half, just like you see here, and then we can take it out, as some people say, plug by plug, and enjoy eating the fruit. This fruit is seedless. Most of the Satsuma mandarins are seedless. Only occasionally will you find a seed in one of these plugs. The flavor of this fruit is fantastic. When you eat this fruit in its season, in the fall like it is now, it has no match in terms of quality. This is what we do at Petals. We do produce fruit which people enjoy. We do produce plants which they enjoy in their garden, and if they have a protected area where they can utilize this type of citrus. And we'll show you additional types of citrus that we have as we continue with our filming. As we continue filming citrus here at Petals from the Past Nursery, I wanted to show you an additional Satsuma mandarin variety that is superb. We consider it one of the earliest that we can harvest. Late September, October. It works beautiful. In my hand, I have already harvested a fruit, just to give you an idea. This is, as I mentioned, L.A. Arlie, introduced by LSU some few years ago. Notice the peel in my hand. That's, again, what we call a loose skin citrus fruit. You couldn't do that with an orange or a grapefruit and what have you, but with the mandarin groups, the peel just separates easily from the flesh. And you can simply peel as you see me doing here, just peeling right back, and you can open this up just like so. You can do this with all of the mandarins. Some have a tighter skin a little. If you let this fruit dry too much, then the skin tends to adhere to the flesh. But if you keep it stored in a refrigerator in a bag, you can keep it for, oh goodness, several days to a week or more, even when it's fully ripe. Notice the flesh color of this fruit. It's not red, but it's kind of a deep, deep orange, which is typical of Satsuma mandarin. And another characteristic in this variety, notice again, it's perfectly seedless. There are no seeds at all in these plugs. Each one of these is called a carpal wall, to be botanically correct, but the average person simply refers to it as a plug. And it is juicy. It has little juice vesicles, and that means the juice, unlike for example an apple, the juice is among the flesh. These have little juice vesicles that hang down. You can see one right here, so that the juice is captured in those so-called juice vesicles, such that when you open this up, none of the juice runs out. It's all contained within each little capsule-like structure. That's the uniqueness of citrus. You don't find many other fruit that have that characteristic. But as you notice, the tree on my right and the tree on my left, notice the difference in the size of these trees. Sometimes they grow at different rates. Could be a rootstock. All of the trees you see here and those that we have filmed previously are on a dwarfing rootstock called flying dragon. These trees are spaced 6 feet apart. That's very close. But they will get up to 8 to 10 feet tall. They will reach out about 4 feet each direction. So in a greenhouse structure like this, you can produce lots of Satsumas or lemons or whatever citrus type you happen to have. But the tree itself, you notice it's somewhat willowy. The typical Satsuma tree doesn't go upright like a pear. It tends to kind of swoon over a little bit, more like a weeping willow. So sometimes we'll use little prop poles to prop branches up to keep the weight of the fruit from breaking them off. But these are planted, as I've mentioned previously, in the soil. They have an irrigation system in here. We fertilize right through our weed mat. It is a nice way to grow citrus. But when you grow them in central Alabama or even north, you have to have a protected system to grow them. Otherwise, the winter temperatures would certainly damage them. Although the Satsuma mandarin can take temperatures usually about 17, 18 degrees without severe damage. But we grow these in tunnels, which is just a little PVC tunnel that we put a freeze cover over, or we put them in a little fancier structure like the greenhouse that you see here. But this one has a little green on the fruit, but Satsuma sometimes, even when they're green, they're perfectly good inside. Not a problem whatsoever. We would rather have a desirable color like this because they're absolutely beautiful. But even fruit with a touch of green on it is still quite good.